Greetings all. Tonight we're going after the Splinter Galaxy. Now the Splinter Galaxy is an edge-on spiral galaxy. It looks a lot like the Needle Galaxy. It's about 55 million light years away up in the constellation of Draco. Now there's some interesting characteristics about the Splinter Galaxy. It's kind of missing its central bulge, that central bulge area that you see from the side-on galaxies that's missing here in this Splinter Galaxy. Also, there are these streams of stellar matter coming out from the galaxy, making these weird circles, which some astronomers think is due to two galaxies which have merged, or it could be some other object causing the interaction between itself and this other galaxy. But regardless, there is some mystery around the Splinter Galaxy. Also, we're going to give ourselves an extra challenge tonight because taking a picture of a galaxy is just too easy. So we don't want to take the easy way out. I'll tell you what I'm talking about here in a few minutes. Okay, here we are ready to get going on the Splinter Galaxy. I've turned on Stellarium, turned on the mount, turned on PhD2. Now I'm about to launch Neener. Here we go. We are going to be using the Celestron 8SE tonight, shooting this galaxy, so I'm going to load that profile. We're using the ZWO-ASI 1600mm Pro. You see that hooked up properly. We're going to go ahead and get it started cooling. We're going to cool down to -15 tonight. There it goes. The filter wheel, I've got the 8-position ZWO filter wheel, so we'll hook that one up. The focuser, this scope does have a focuser. I'm using the Celestron USB focuser, so we'll hook that up. Okay, so far so good. I don't have a rotator. I have to do it manually. And I think that'll do it for our equipment. So let me show you the game plan for tonight. I am polar lined. I just got polar lined. Flares just came out. Tonight we're going after the Splinter Galaxy. Now let me show you a few things of that. First of all, how to find it. Right up here you see the Big Dipper. When you follow the Big Dipper out, you come to the star at the end, which this is Alcade. Well, to find the Splinter Galaxy, you just go straight down a little further, and it sits right over here next to this star. So, about right in this area. So, let's put the little red box where we think the Splinter Galaxy is, and go see if we can find it. Okay, there it is right there. So we got pretty close. Here's the Splinter Galaxy. Now, here's what I want to point out. This looks a lot like the Needle Galaxy, this part of it right here. But then, do you see all of this nebulosity out here? That's what I want to try to get. I want to work real hard to see if I can pick up this nebulosity around the galaxy to get the whole thing. Now, I've challenged myself again, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to recommend don't try this at home. This is not a thing you do. But I'm doing it anyhow, and I'll tell you why, because I've been at work for almost a month straight. You may have noticed it was a while since my Flaming Star video came out, but I've been at work almost a month straight. I'm only going to have a few days, and then I'm going to be on another month or 6 weeks or so. So I cannot pass by a clear sky. So here's the challenge I'm giving myself. I'm going to try to get this galaxy in broadband during a full moon. In fact, tonight is the super moon. So there's the challenge, to get the Splinter Galaxy and all of this nebulosity around it during a super moon. So there we go. We'll see if we're successful or not. So for now, we're pointed right up here to the North Celestial Pole. I'm going to go ahead and use the star Alkaid over here as our focus and mount synchronization. So everything's hooked up. The camera's cooling. In fact, it's probably cooling now. So let's call up Neener and let's get on over to Alkaid. I've got Alkaid clicked on my planetarium. I'm going to call it in here. So there's Alkaid. I'm going to click slew, and the telescope is going to go where it thinks is Alkaid. It's going to go there and stop. It's going to make just one attempt. It's not going to plate solve its way on over. But that's okay, because it'll wake up the telescope, and then I can actually connect it, and then we can do all our other functions. So here we go. And there goes the telescope, and I can tell you, it is going in the right direction to point at Alkaid. So that's a good sign. So it went to where it thinks Alkaid is at, and it stopped. But I'll guarantee you it's not on Alkaid. But watch this. Now that it has done that move, we can now go to the telescope and hook it up. See there, it hooked up, buttons turned green. Now I can do all of the other functions. Let's go ahead and replace this sequence. So now we have Alkaid in here. We know what we're working with. So we're going to take a picture and see where we are really pointed at. Okay, here's our picture. Yeah, we're not pointed at Alkaid. That's no surprise. It rarely gets there on the first try. So now we're going to engage in some plate solving. So plate solve, I've got sync turned on, slew to target, and I'm using the luminance filter. So here we go. Now when I click this button, it is going to plate solve on over to Alkaid. Let's watch it do that. It's taking its picture to see where it's at. Plate solved. Now it realized, you see down here, it realized that it's not in the right spot. So now it just did a small readjustment. Now it's going to settle, and then you'll see it's going to take another picture. Here we are to do another plate solve to see if it got it right this time. Okay, there's the plate solve. Plate solve was successful, and it stopped doing anything. That means it's there. You can go up here and check. There's the error 0. So let's go back to the picture, and there it is. Alkaid right in the middle. So at this point, you know what? We'll go ahead and try an autofocus and see what happens. But I'm not optimistic, but we're going to try it. All right, so it finished. This curve here, is that successful focus or not? I don't know. It seemed to stop with a 3.47 HFR. Looks like it might be focused. I'll tell you what, we're going to go to live view. I'm going to put the Batinov mask on and see how good this autofocus did for us. Okay, I'm gonna say that's it right there. So 6207 is our manual focus, and Neener had come up with 6140. So the 3.47 was the HFR that Neener found, and you'll see up here that with our manual focus we've gone to 2.75. So seems like Neener made a reasonable attempt to get focus, but we can still beat it with a manual focus. We're focused. So I'm going to get off of live. Now let me tell you something else. If you forget to turn off live view, and you try to slew or do something else, you're going to choke it up, and you may end up restarting it. I've done that a couple times, but I'm not forgetting this time. Live view is turned off, so I'm going to take the Batinov mask off, and we'll get on with our program. Anyhow, that's the first time I've had Nina kind of halfway work with the focus program, so maybe I'm getting the parameters dialed in. Alright, so I've got Splinter Galaxy selected in Stellarium, so let's try and import it this way. Alright, it worked that way. There it is. So let's go replace the sequence. And there you see the coordinates are correct. Alright, we got the right target in there. Verified the coordinates. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to calibrate PhD2 before I try to put it on over there, because like I told you, I have to do the calibration manually. Once it's calibrated though, Nina controls it just fine. Okay, the guiding is going manually there. One thing I learned when you're shooting with a supermoon out, I have to put my auto guider down to 4 seconds. I tried 3, 2, or 1. It just wouldn't see anything. So that's a function of shooting with a full moon. All right, so we are going to hand over control of PhD2 now to Nina. There we go. All right, so let's go back to the sequence. I think I'm going to leave my autofocus off but because of the issues that we just went through earlier. I've got a better focus manually. We want to start guiding when we get there. We do want to slew to the target, and we do want to center the target. Since this is the first night we're shooting the Splinter, I don't need to match a target position by rotating the camera, because this is going to be in the middle of the frame anyhow. So we're going to take center, and then we'll may have to rotate the camera on subsequent nights, but this first night centered is just fine. So let's fix the imaging frame here. 3-minute exposures. That might be too much with the full moon, but I'm going to try it. So we're going to experiment here with the full moon. We're going to take a 3-minute exposure, a 2-minute exposure, and then a 3.5-minute exposure. See which of those we like, and then we'll adjust the plan from here. When I push this button, it's going to slew, do its plates off, get on target. It's going to start the auto guiding, and then it will take these pictures. So here we go. Remember, right now we're setting on Alcade. All right, so there it goes from Alcade right on over to the Splinter Galaxy, just like we wanted it to do. All right, it's doing a plates off to see did it get in the right spot. It did not. You can see the error over here. I just heard it re-slew to try again. So it's going to take another picture, do another plates off to see if it got it right this time. Looks like it did get it right. You know what? I had it guiding back on. All right, there it goes. It found a star all by itself. Yeah, I had it guiding on Alcade when it slew. But it got back on track. So Nina turned on guiding. There's the plates off picture. When it figured it was in the right spot, you can see the splinter right there. All right, it just finished. There's the 3-minute exposure right there. My stars are a little eggy, probably because of the 4-second guiding. Anyhow, we'll see. We'll see. So there's the 3-minute exposure. All right, I'll turn it back on, and we'll see what the 2-minute exposure looks like, and then the 3.5-minute. See where to go from there. Okay, here comes our 2-minute exposure here in about 3 seconds. So let's watch it come in. There's our 2-minute exposure there. I don't see a whole lot of difference. We're doing the 210-second one now, so maybe we'll see a difference on that one. All right, so here comes our 3.5 minute here in about right now. Let's watch it come in. All right, let's look at them on this big screen. So here's our 2 minute coming up. All right, there's our 2 minute exposure. Let's look at the 3 minute. Yeah, you can see a little difference. That one's a little lighter. You can see a couple of dust bunnies that I have on somewhere in my image train. Flats will take that out. Let's take a look at the 3.5 minute one. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of difference. Some difference there. You know what? I'm going to make a command decision here, and we're going to go with the 3 minute. We're going to go with the 3 minute exposure. So let's get on back and update that. And let's do some HA. I don't know if this has any HA signal, but we're going to find out. We'll do 10 minute exposures on that. And let's do 12 of them. We're going to do about 2 hours of HA. Now, if I see that nothing's coming up on the HA, then I'll terminate this and reset it. So this is what we're going to go with and see what we get. Now this time I'm going to remember to turn off start guiding because we're already guiding. I don't want to re-slew because we're already on target. So we'll avoid that mistake this time. And here we go. We're firing for effect now for our 3 minute broadband exposures with a full moon, super moon. Like I said, a challenge. All right, back on night 2 of the Splinter Galaxy. I thought I'd show y'all a couple things here. This is the last HA exposure that just came in. I'm getting a bunch of HA on night 2. There was a surprising amount of HA signal here. This is HA frame. I got almost as much as I did out of the broadband. But anyhow, I was a little surprised by how much signal there was. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a whole bunch of more of them. One thing I thought I'd show you over here, though. Here's the first HA frame. The HFR actually went down, indicating the focus is still good even after it's changed filters. But then it goes up for a couple frames. But you also know notice the star count goes way down. And what happened on these 2 frames right here, some clouds moved through the field of view. So that's what caused the HFR to go bad on the focus to go bad on these 2 and the star count to go way back down. But the clouds moved on, and you see that we're back to a good focus again and back to a star count. Now the star count is higher on these HA frames than it was on the luminous. I think just because I'm doing 10 minute exposures rather than 3 minute down here. But anyhow, I thought that was kind of interesting when the clouds roll through, what it did to the graph here. The other thing I show you is last night we got a whole bunch of good pictures. I got we get 158 of 3 minutes, and unless my math fails me, that is just shy of 8 hours. So we got 8 hours on the Splinter Galaxy last night. I thought I would call some up and take a look here at what we got. Let's see, I'll do it this way. Looking at our ones from last night, we already looked at a 3 minutes luminance. Let's take a look at one of the reds. I'll just pick one out of the middle here. So this is one of our 3 minute luminance. Here's a 3 minute red. It doesn't look a whole lot different to me. There's some stuff there. Let's take a look at some green and blue. I'll just pick one at random. So here's a green 3-minute frame that we got last night. There it is. Again, it looks about the same. At least it knows what it's looking at. How about that? And let's take a look at the blue. There we go. The blue. This may have the weakest signal of all of them. It's hard to tell. They all look pretty similar, but I think there may be enough stuff here to get a picture, even though we did this with a full moon, the supermoon no less. And I think the supermoon just means that the moon is closer to Earth than it normally is. So not only is it full moon, but it's closer to Earth also. But anyhow, what I don't know, and I know we're going to get the galaxy pretty good here, but what I don't know is if we're going to be able to see that all that nebulosity around here, like the halo around the galaxy, like we talked about. But that remains to be seen when we stack these and put them all together. Anyhow, one last look at the HA. Here's the last HA that came in. And again, a surprising amount of signal here. The clouds are supposed to roll in around 2 o'clock tonight, so I may only get about 4 hours tonight. But I got 8 last night. So we should have about 12 hours with the supermoon. And unless we get new developments or something strange happens, then I will see you at the end. Now I'm coming back to you the next day. All the pictures are taken. I've stacked the images. I've gone ahead and processed them. And I'm here to give you a report on what we talked about, the success of our project. And I'm going to have to mark this one down as a partial success, because we did get a pretty decent image of the Splinter Galaxy, just that edge-on spiral galaxy. We got a pretty decent image. I'm calling that a success. However, because of the supermoon, all the moonlight that was out there, and photographing in broadband, there was a lot of light pollution from all that moonlight in there. And I'm afraid that when I cleaned out the light pollution, I also cleaned out that nebulosity that I was trying to get around the galaxy. So anyhow, here it is, the Splinter Galaxy, a partial success.